Rashad Jennings played in the NFL for almost a decade, played with the Giants, the Raiders, New York Times best-selling author. He's got these kid books. They're really popular. The Coin Slot Chronicles, young adult book series. Arcade and the Dazzling Truth Detector is his latest. They've done really, really well. He's also a Dancing with the Stars champ. Quite a life. He is joining us now via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. Having played in New York and Jacksonville, Jacksonville's one of the most laid-back markets. New York's one of the most intense markets. And Daniel Jones and Darnold, I think Darnold's the better talent, but they could be the two worst teams in the league, and you've played in that city. If Trevor Lawrence is available and they have the number 1 and number 2 pick, do you think they move off their young quarterbacks and go get what appears to be the best prospect in about a decade in college football?
Yeah, I would say no. Well, first, thanks for having me on.
You bet.
I always get a kick every time I hear Dancing with the Stars. It trips me out. But yeah, I wouldn't if I'm in a position to. Trevor Lawrence is a generational quarterback. I don't think the Giants go get him because they already have a quarterback in hand, as well as the Jets. And the reason why, to attest and agree with you about the support system, we talk about Eli Manning will be a Hall of Famer. In 2014, he was drafted to the New York Giants, and they had a great support system. Daniel Jones was drafted to in 2019 to the Giants, while the guy that you're mentioning that came in with a great support system was leaving with no support system. You see what I'm saying? So I think that they have a quarterback that can play football very well. Yes, he has a lot of growth ahead of him. He's young. I think he's eager. I think he has the wherewithal. I think he has the poise. I think he has the skill set to be a great quarterback for the New York Giants. However, the support system is not there, and we know that. And it's going to take some time, especially, you're losing your top back. But, every great running back, barring Barry Sanders himself, I always say this, every great running back runs the same when there's nowhere to run. That goes, again, to the support system. And so there's a few things that the Giants are going to want to take focus on and continue to focus on this season, but definitely during the off season. But the quarterback position is not one of them.
It's interesting. Cam Newton was in kind of trouble in Carolina. 0 for 8 in his last starts, more picks than touchdowns. And it was Ron Rivera didn't even bring him up to Washington. He took his backup. And he didn't have much of a market for Cam at all. And then New England takes him, doesn't pay him anything. And I'm listening to him talk, and I'm watching him play, and he's completely refocused, talking about support system. He sounds different. He's much more serious. He's much more tuned in. And it's interesting because when you were with the Giants, and then you go to the Jaguars, I'm kind of blown away by Cam. It's like a transformation of his personality. How surprised are you by that?
I'm happy for Cam. I'm a person that, to be honest, I thought Cam didn't have it in his tank anymore. But I'm also a Cam fan, so I was saying I hope he proves me wrong. I really, really do. And he has. He's been out there. He's doing what's necessary to win football games for his team. The team is taking him in. I think coordinator has done a great job of putting him in position. They don't have their feature running back right now. They're still trying to get inside of the system. I mean, Cam's a new quarterback in a brand new system, and I think they're doing well. And they still get to ride on Belichick's knowledge, and that defense is playing well enough for them to win. So they're playing team football, as the Patriots always does. But I think he's elevated his game. You can see some more calmness in him. You can see more playfulness in him. And he's being himself. So I'm enjoying watching Cam this season.
Yeah, mechanics have improved. Dallas, Dak said yesterday, he said, we want to get in shootouts. That's who we are. We're going to pass the ball. And I think of Zeke, and I think, gosh, you paid the guy $100-something million, and you're not using him. And Dallas is actually 35-15 when they've given Zeke the ball just 15 times in his career. They're better that way. Were you ever a running back, and talk about Dallas specifically, that you thought the offense you were in at some point was unbalanced, and it fell in love with the passing game? Because it feels like Dallas is getting there to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams have been falling to the pass game and leaning on it, and I understand why. I get it. It's explosive. It's fun. It's big chunky yards. And your guys are not getting beat up as much. But I have seen, and I've been part of teams where they've got away from the run game, and it depends on how your team is built, right? If you have a Hall of Famer quarterback under center with a scheme that can sling the football, do it. But if you have a run game that is sound, run it, and create balance. And it's difficult for offensive coordinators to bang their head and figure out how to stop the pass game. It really is. But when you can establish a run game, as far every team I've ever been a part of, and from Pee Wee all the way to high school, college, to the NFL, one of the first things they tell you when you walk inside of a meeting at a team meeting is say that we need to establish a run game and stop the run. Those are the two most dominant ways to win a football game. Then you start talking about pass game. Then you start talking about special teams. I think the Cowboys are one that feel that they have a very talented quarterback. They have a stacked receiver core. Again, as I said before, I feel like, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, but I say the Cowboys are a watered down version of the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you can get that pass game going, you can savor one of your top backs later in the season when you're going to need him to wear people down. Especially, you got to think long term, being in the bubble, being he didn't have a preseason this year. Guys may potentially that didn't work out as hard wear down later in the season. So you want to have your bullets packed.
Yeah, that's really smart. Speaking of Kansas City, you watch them on Monday night just disassemble the Baltimore Ravens.
Man.
It's, as a pro athlete, as somebody who played in this game, do they look like anything you've ever seen offensively?
Nah, they're doing something special. And I tell you what, man, Patrick Mahomes, he's showing why he's the highest paid football player ever to play the game so far. He's different, man. He can do it all. He can stand in the pocket. He can get out of the pocket. He moves the center of the field so well. Like, they could be on the right hash, and he actually runs a sweep to put them on the left hash so he can pass the ball. Like, he moves the pocket. I honestly would love to talk to the offensive coordinator. I really think that they purposely move the pocket and tell the offensive line to block strong on the right and weak on the left, just so they can roll out. And it messes with the offense. Think about that as a defensive coordinator. How do you really game plan for somebody that's rolling out of the pocket and creating a new line of scrimmage? But I think that's partly what they're doing. and Andy Reid ain't gonna share that. But he's special. He's setting the bar very high. We all knew that he was capable of that when we first saw him touch the field his second year in. And but far as I don't think they're stoppable at this point. Where are they weak other than their defense? But they're going to score probably 100 points on you.
Yeah. Rashad Jennings, almost a decade in the NFL. I want to show you the book one more time. Arcade and the Dazzling Truth Detector. It's a new book release, final installment of his Coin Slot Chronicles young adult book series. This guy's done it all, Dancing with the Stars, a 7th-round draft pick out of Liberty. What a life he's led. We love having him on, Rashad. Great seeing you again, man. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Always. Look forward to seeing y'all next time.
All right, good stuff. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.